G'day football fans and welcome to another football chat video. I mean, the last couple have been, a bit more structured than this one will be. The last two were, of course, the end of season awards for the Premier League, team of the season, player of the season, all those beautiful awards. The following one was ranking each of the teams' seasons, going through each of the Premier League teams, seeing where they are on a tier list. You should probably watch them. And if you came here because of them, thank you. Thank you for watching, and hopefully you enjoy this one. Like, comment, subscribe, all of those things. Today what we're going to do is, it's a bit less structured, but it's a bit more fun, I think. I'm just going to talk about a few things that have been on my mind, things that I've been enjoying about the football world, talking about it, thinking about with the football world, and talk to you about them. It's more what I want to be doing anyway. I mean, Football Manager and FIFA are great and fun, but at the end of the day, I want to talk football, and that's what we're doing today. Might need an idea for the name of the show. If you can help me out with that, I'd love it. Otherwise, I'm just going to, probably come up with some stupid name, I guess, because that's how it works. What we're going to do today, though, is we're going to talk about Postecoglu going to Tottenham, because I'm super, super excited about it. Number two, we're going to talk about Pochettino going to Chelsea. And number three, briefly just touch on Erik ten Hag's first season at Manchester United. So stick around for all of it. Hopefully you enjoy it. Let me know what you think. I'd love to hear from you. Comment whatever you think. I just want it to become basically a conversation where we can all chat about all of it, have good chats, not be a-holes about it, not be, some of the worst sides of Twitter about it. Just, have a good chat, and I want to hear your opinions. Obviously it's all my opinion. There's not too much that's fact-based about it. So let me know what you reckon. Anyway, let's talk about Ange. So if you have been around the channel a while, you may have known, or you may have heard me talk about being from Brisbane in Australia, and Ange Postecoglu, if you don't know, found a whole lot of success here in Brisbane. He came into the team in the A-League back in, I think he started in 2010, might have been 2009, I mean. I'm not too sure, but my partner actually used to serve him at a restaurant she used to work at, a Greek restaurant, funnily enough. But, at the time, Brisbane Roar were never really that competitive, were never really that exciting. I had season tickets from about 2008 through to about 2015, maybe. So, a decent amount of time, and I got to see basically the team prior to Ange Postecoglu under Frank Farina and his DUI and all that sort of stuff. And then what it then has turned into, which is less good. But basically from the time he's taken over, it's completely changed the way that the club's sort of seen, basically. And in my humble opinion, I guess, it completely changed the face of Australian football. That era under Ange at Brisbane Roar changed the way that other teams had to operate, because other teams needed to keep up, basically. He won, back-to-back titles. He went 36 games unbeaten in a 27 game season, I think. Went unbeaten for 36 games. So didn't end up being an actual invincible season, because it was at the start of one season through halfway through another, and then a horrid loss away at Sydney at a really windy ground that wasn't their normal home ground, and it was horrid. Anyway, and just some of my best memories are under Ange Postecoglu at Brisbane Roar. So to see him now succeeding at the absolute highest level it touches my heart. I'm so happy. It's so exciting. So the way that Raw used to line up under Ange, most of the time anyway, of course there were slight variations on the theme and all that sort of stuff that all good coaches end up having, basically. It was 4-3-3 that they went with. It was very ball dominant, high pressing. It introduced playing out from the back, which previously, the amount of times I've sat there at games where people have booed passes back to the goalkeeper, that's completely changed now to where it's okay, we can see that they're playing away from danger, or they're solving something by going back to the goalkeeper, and it's now applauded. And it genuinely, in football, I feel like football culture in Australia changed with this. Anyway, that's my opinion. Anyway, let me know what you reckon. So a lot of it, very much this 4-3-3, but what you would see a lot of, and I'm not saying it's novel, I'm not saying it's unique to him, but I mean, a lot of, obviously, these fellas getting high up, the wingbacks getting high up, the central midfielders getting high up, and the holding midfielder, a bloke named Erik Postecoglu, ending up between the two centre backs. So, I mean, very high up, very, the wide backs going on beyond the winger, because the winger that they had, Thomas Broich, was brilliant, A-League standards, I guess, at the time as well, because he's now 50. Very, very good technical player, great at cutting on the inside, great little body feints and chopping like a fake shot and chopping the ball back. But yeah, cutting on the inside with the overlapping left back, very like in what you see in today's football, very not incredibly unique, but just the way that it was done with the high pressing, with the passing, with the movement, all of those things, it was sensational, and it was game changing for Australia, like the A-League in Australia. And I'm really excited for him. What this will mean for Tottenham then is they're getting a great coach, and not just a great, footballing philosophy or someone who's going to change just, Harry Kane to a central midfielder and he's going to completely change the game. He's a culture changer. He really is. You've seen it at Celtic. Would have seen it at Yokohama. It is in Japan. He's just such a charismatic, great leader. And I think he's going to do fantastically at Tottenham. I mean, I very much hope so. Whether it actually pans out, I don't know. It's yet for us to see. I think going on history, you'd suggest that it's probably going to end up being, sacked in the next couple of years and, Tottenham move on and that's it. The way that I think about, his career and the way that football works, I guess, I would have really liked to see him go to West Ham, like that sort of a team. They've got a great following, they've got great facilities, they've got a good stadium, and he could really build that culture, build them up, and unfortunately for West Ham and where they are right now, use them as a stepping stone to then go on to a bigger club like a Tottenham or Chelsea or, whoever it might be. All in all, though, I think it's a great appointment. I'm so excited for him. I'm so excited for Australian football. He's like the first in the Asian Football Confederation to coach in the Premier League, which is so exciting. It's so brilliant to, I literally had third row seats right behind the bench back in the day at Brisbane Roar when he was the coach, and to have watched him that closely, and now he's in the Premier League, the promised land, the biggest league in the world, the league that I've watched all my life, basically. It's so exciting, and I'm so excited just to see how he goes, and hopefully it does work out for him, because it'd be great for Australian football, really, which could do with a good story like that. The next topic I wanted to just, talk about, because I'm interested in it, is Pochettino at Chelsea. I mean, going back to him at Tottenham, I mean, it was such an exciting brand of football. I know as a Manchester City fan, I was just about fearful every time we came up against them, because it felt like they just battered us all the time, and the high pressing, high octane, speedy, agile front four, it seemed to always do us in, especially when we had, someone like Martin D. Michaelis at the back there, which didn't end well on a couple of occasions. I guess the sort of thing I want to touch on, I guess, a bit more is basically where Chelsea are at and what it'll mean for Chelsea. Of course, he is a coach that comes in with a huge reputation after, the great work that he did at Tottenham and Southampton before that. PSG didn't really work out that well. And I think you've seen going on from him and prior to him as well, it may not be the coaches that are the problem at PSG. There's something about the culture, something about the owners. I don't know. It may not be him, is all I'm suggesting. For Chelsea, though, what I am excited for is for them to get a full pre-season under this new coach with all of these new players they've brought in together, ready to, go under one idea, under one positive, good idea to showcase the skills of all of these super talented attacking players that they've brought in, like Mudryk, like Madueke on the right even. Hopefully Enzo Fernandez. I'd like to see them. They're rumoured with getting Ugarte from Sporting Club Portugal. I'd really love to see them get that type of midfielder that is, I guess, frees up Enzo a bit more, just allowing him to have a bit more of a leash and not have to sit there and hold and be boring. And I'd like to see that for them. And I think, it is. I mean, we were always going to see a bounce from them, basically. So they finished 12th last season. The season, a couple of weeks old now. We're always going to see a bounce back up from them. I think it's, nobody's expecting to see them continue in that vein or even get worse. But I think having Pochettino and having a full preseason with the team will make a huge, huge difference for them. And hopefully for Chelsea and their fans, like my partner. Hopefully he can recreate something like what he had at Spurs. They need a striker. They need to sort out what's happening in midfield with N'Golo Conte. His contract's running out this season. Doesn't look like he's extending. Looks like he's gone. And then Mateo Kovacic, heavily linked with Manchester City. Only 1 year left on his deal. They need to sort something out. I'd love a midfield pairing of him and Enzo. Doesn't necessarily free up Enzo, as I was just talking about, but I think it's just a well-balanced sort of pairing at the back there, or the back of midfield, I guess. Centre-back's another area I think they need to sort out. Koulibaly didn't quite hit the heights that you expected of him, I suppose. I'm going to say it was a failure, not saying he was a flop or anything, grandiose like that, I guess. But you may not hit the heights, and he's 31, I guess. And then you've got 38-year-old Thiago, who may be leaving the club, maybe has 1 year left. And then you've got Fofana and Badiashile, who look decent. I mean, we all know that Fofana's got quality from his time at Leicester. Badiashile has shown moments, maybe needs that bit of consistency in his game. Obviously, that consistency then comes with experience, and hopefully under Pochettino he gets that. Whether Pochettino, who has played a three at the back at times in his managerial career, does use him as like a left-sided centre-back or whatever it might be, it'd be good to see him get that experience. Obviously, Correa needs to improve next season. Not rated highly by the Chelsea fans this season. Didn't have a great year after previously having a great year at Brighton, who moved on from him and have been better. Read into that what you will, I guess. The other thing about Chelsea that needs to be sorted is the Lukaku problem. They need a new striker. He's not the answer. He doesn't want to be there. They don't want to use him, and I don't think he's going to fit in with what Pochettino wants to do. I just forgot the name, Pochettino. He doesn't fit in my opinion anyway, with what Pochettino wants to do. They need a different striker up there. I'd love to see Ollie Watkins. I thought he had a fantastic season at Villa. It's going to cost him way too much money. But we know that Todd Bowley's not afraid of spending that money, so we'll see what happens. But I'd love to see someone like an Ollie Watkins get that chance. Obviously, Ivan Toney's out of the picture because he's got an 8-month ban or whatever it is. He's not back until January. Maybe that takes some money off his price, though, and Chelsea from January onwards have a good striker in Toney. Who knows? Those are a couple of options. I mean, I'm not sitting here starting rumours or saying that I think that they are the only options, because I haven't thought about it really. I'm just talking, and it came into my mind. Ollie Watkins would be great, though. I think he'd really fit in. And what I've done is I've put, so similar to the Raw that I was just showing you in the tactics board, I've put together Chelsea's lineup with what I think are the cornerstones of the team. This is what I put together. I mean, it's not perfect. I haven't exactly researched 100%, but basically these are the cornerstones. I think Mudryk, as much as he maybe didn't hit the ground running as much as people thought he would after such a great first half of the season with Shakhtar and, performing so well in the Champions League, didn't quite hit the ground running, but now under Pochettino in the, high-octane, fast football, will succeed. I think he'll be a great footballer. He's definitely got the pace. He's definitely got the talent. Just got to put it together. Sterling, of course, quality footballer, quality Premier League, just about legend status, really, with the amount of goals, with the titles, all of the above. Obviously, Madueke also suits there. The person who doesn't suit there is Hakim Ziyech. Needs to go. Like, he has to leave. He has to leave the club. They need to get rid of him. I don't care. Like, it doesn't matter if it's a loan to PSG. It doesn't matter if it's selling him for a literal bag of chips. They need to get rid of Hakim Ziyech, because it's just not working. Havertz is the one, like, I've got him with question marks here, because firstly, I do not want to see him play striker next season. I am sick to death of Chelsea playing with Kai Havertz as a striker. When he was at Leverkusen before buying him, he looked so good as like that person in behind the striker, in the transitions, so good on the ball, so good at finding that pass, popping up with the odd goal, can get there on the end of chances, but he should not be your out-and-out number 9 ahead of, like, if you put like a Mount there, sure, this team might score a few goals and win some games, but you need a proper god-dang striker. I also haven't put Mount in because there's so many rumours about him going to Manchester United. I think he's got 1 year left on his deal and he's not likely to sign a new one or whatever. The other person with question marks is Kovacic, just because who knows what's going to happen. Again, 1 year left on his deal, linked with Manchester City, but see what happens, I guess. As a City fan, I'd love to see him at City. I think he'd be fantastic for Pep. Anyway, haven't put anything in centre-backs because I think the centre-backs are, you know, depending on Thiago Silva's, what's happening there, because he does have 1 year left on his deal, but something tells me he's not, you know, 100% certain to stay. There's then the 3 other centre-backs, Buddy Shield, Chalobah I didn't even mention, Buddy Shield, Fofana, and whoever the other one is, Koulibaly. They're fine, really. They don't need to sort that out this season. They've already spent too much money. They don't need to sort that out now. I think a goalkeeper needs to be sorted out because I don't know I can't click and move him, sorry. And that was really annoying me. Because I don't know about Kepa. I don't know about Mendy. Mendy, I think his expires in 1 year as well. I don't know why they have so many expiring 1 year. Anyway, a few things need sorting, but I think they've got the makings of a very good side. And for Pochettino and what he wants to do and, you know, what he did at Tottenham, I think they've got the makings of a very, very good side, and they could get, you know, challenging for Europe again. It takes time, and rebuilds do take time. They can't be done in one step. You can't just hit the reset button and be back up competing and being brilliant again. It just doesn't really happen in football. And I think for Chelsea, it would be a great season to finish like 6th. I think that would be a sensational season. Do I think that's where they're going to finish? I don't know. We'll see. See what transfers they make. See how Pochettino goes. He'll have a full preseason now, and that's fantastic. The last thing I wanted to touch on, and I've been talking for much longer than I thought I would be. Don't know how long I want this sort of series video thing to last. I just want to sit here and talk football and talk about the stuff that I'm thinking about, basically. Let me know what you call it. It's ramblings, though, isn't it? Really. Anyway, last thing I wanted to talk about was Erik ten Hag. First season at Manchester United. Fantastic. I mean, for Manchester United, he has been so good. The culture that they seem to be instilling, the brand of football, the identity that seems to have been lacking for a long time, and he seems to be really getting that back in there, doing a fantastic job of it. As a City fan, hate it. But as a football fan and, you know, a follower of Ajax, I don't know if you can see it here, but somewhere back on this bookshelf is Johan Cruyff's autobiography. Read it cover to cover, like, I loved it. Love Johan Cruyff, so many interviews and things. Yeah, Ajax lover, fanboy. To see him now come to the Premier League and do, like, not just succeed, but, like, change the fortunes of the club, change the culture completely in one season, to the point where they've won a League Cup. They've got Champions League finishing, what did they finish, 3rd? Was it? Yeah, no, 3rd, 4th? Whatever it was, 3rd or 4th. FA Cup final, Europe next season will be better. Depth is probably a problem. Striker they want to sort out. I don't know. But Erik ten Hag, I think, has just been a fantastic job. And I think changing the culture and instilling that identity of the club and of the play style has been huge. And he's done an absolutely magnificent job. Done very well to get the best out of some of their players and will continue to do so. Look, I didn't really have much else to talk about with him. I just wanted to, you know, come out and, as a Manchester City fan, sit here and say that Erik ten Hag had a fantastic first season. Don't want to ever sit here and be completely biased in my views and, you know, sit here and just talk trash about them because I don't like the club. I want to look at it as, you know, someone with an objective eye, I guess, and say that it's, as a City fan, it's kind of scary because they've done very, very well under him and they're coming, basically. Speaking of coming, this video is coming to an end. Thank you very, very much for watching. Make sure you do leave us that like down below. Subscribe if you're new around here. Comment what you thought of the video, what you thought of the takes, the thoughts, the opinions, what opinions you have, what you think Chelsea should do, what should Tottenham do under Ange, who do they need, what do they need, all of the above. Let me know. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to turn this into a conversation. That'll do us. See you next time. Peace.